Yeah. Oh yeah, baby, it's the Bunleys back in this bitch. Another episode of Bunley joining Strawhats, okay? So Fishman Island, okay, we completed the time skip, baby. We completed the motherfucking time skip, baby.
I know.
Yes. So they got to see some of these glow ups, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, so we did a whole bunch of shit. Boy, we seen a whole bunch of shit. Let's get into it, all right? So before y'all seen the Straw Hats and shit like that, the actual Straw Hats, we seen the fake Straw Hats and shit, right? So what did y'all think of the fake Straw Hats?
Clout chasing.
Cloud chasing.
Trying to be cool and shit.
I mean, them niggas been gone for 2 years, man. Like, I mean, if you ain't gonna use your name, I'm gonna use it. You know what I'm saying? Well, what did you think of that shit?
I kind of felt like it was a compliment because they think they're so cool, they're gonna copy them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is it? Imitation is flattery? Or
Yeah.
like that?
The best form of flattery is imitation and shit like that. So yeah, that was cool. That was cool to see. But y'all seen when Nami and them showed up. Nami and Uzi fucked them niggas up, really. You know what I'm saying?
But the fake Nami had a belly.
Dang.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Fake Nami looked like, yeah, she ain't, no sir. I ain't paying no barriers to see you at all. Like that Warren Brook meme say, I do not want to see your panties.
I do not want to see you.
Right. So when we see the actual Straw Hats, right? Who had the best glow up to you?
To me?
Yeah.
Okay. Me, it's out of Nami and Zoro. Nami, because that's my girl. She looks really, really good. But Zoro looks really, really good. That's I'm developing a crush. Or maybe I already have.
So do you like the fact that his eyes are now closed?
I mean, it adds an aesthetic, I guess. But eye or no eye, that's becoming my boo. That's becoming my little crush.
Okay. What they call him, husbando?
I know, husbando. We need a better word for that one.
So who you thought had the best glow up?
Frankie, because he got bigger and cooler.
Hell yeah, he got the little hand that come out his shit when he wants to eat and stuff.
And he presses his nose to get a new hairstyle.
Oh, I get the new hairstyle. That is dope. That is dope.
Hell yeah. See, I thought best glow up, man. My nigga Choppy Chop, boy.
Choppy
Chop, boy.
Oh.
My nigga Chop look good. I mean, Luffy ain't really changed much, you know what I'm saying? But Uzi, my nigga Uzi kind of like muscled up and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Brooke come through, like, his fashion changed a bit.
Yeah, he looks all rock star.
The Soul King, baby.
Yeah, he's a rock star now.
Yeah. So, fucking Zoro was pretty much telling everybody, hey, man, I got here first. Now, that's a big deal for Zoro because, you know, nigga always getting lost.
You don't
and shit
expect
like
it.
that, right? So, he's telling everybody, hey, whatever number 2. You know what I'm saying? So, he's calling people straight up, like, how you got there and shit like that. That shit was funny to you?
Yeah. Like he called Luffy number 9.
He was the last one. Wait. Yeah, I think you right. So, I mean, nigga, you ain't captain no more because you ain't number 1.
Right. You ain't number 1.
If you ain't first, you last, baby.
I mean, at first, you last.
So what you thought of that shit?
That was kind of ironic, right? That he showed up first.
But it wasn't his fault. Perona got him there first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fucking Zoro always getting lost, man. So yeah, that was a little bit surprising and shit to see. So fucking the island itself. What did you guys think of the island? You know, the Fishman Island itself.
Kind of has like Atlantis vibes a little bit, right? That's the island that I'd want to visit first. Probably y'all already know why, but
because you're a whole Pisces.
And I love mermaids.
On some Sanji shit. So what did you think of the Fishman Island?
I would hang out with the mermaids a lot.
Damn, just the mermaids? So fuck the Fishman, huh?
I mean, that's every little girl, right? Like, we just want to hang out with the fairies and the mermaids and and the unicorns.
And I want to try the seafood too, because I love seafood.
Yeah, that's some cannibalistic shit. Them niggas eating their own shit.
That's
I mean, but it is. That's how it is, man. It is what it is, you know? So, I mean, but y'all seen that before they went to like the Fishman Island and shit, y'all had Kuma was guarding the Sunny and shit like that. Were y'all expecting that?
No.
No?
No, that was a surprise.
Yeah. That's one of the things he asked Vegapunk to allow him to do before Vegapunk actually turned him into a fucking, machine thingy of majig. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So he was there guarding the Sunny and shit like that. Guard Kuma. My boy. You feel me? So anyways, fucking Decken, we got into the shit and stuff like that, right? Decken fucking, he couldn't take the fact that, Shirahoshi was like, hey man, you ain't my type. So he keep throwing shit at her and stuff like that, trying to kill her and shit. And he ate what they call it, the mark fruit?
Yeah. The mark
yeah.
fruit.
So once he touch you, bing, whatever he throw, no matter what he throw, it's gonna come at you and shit like that. So she's in that tower and shit like that. What did you think of that shit, baby girl? I know you kind of feel some type of way because you don't be liking shit like that. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't like it when guys are mad because a girl doesn't want to marry them. And because of him, she has to stay in a tower and she can't go outside and have fun.
Like typical princess Disney shit. Tower. Like
Rapunzel.
Yeah. Like princesses don't belong in towers. But
what did you think of that shit?
The situation is obviously bad, but that's pretty cool. Like the mark fruit, I'm thinking the whole time that's a cool little fruit to have. Like
cause you can just do something like hit you, bitch. But you got to touch him though. You have to touch him in order to grab that mark and shit like that, right? So all we seen and shit like that, Horty and his boys and shit like that, when they get in fights and shit, like, oh shit, this fight ain't going my way. Hold on 1 second. Drugs.
Oh.
Drugs. You know what I'm saying? Drugs. Okay, let's start with you. I'm gonna go and dive your life. What do you think about Horty and his drugs?
Steroids. That's all I can think about is steroids and just, I don't know, off these motherfuckers.
Right. Every time I see this shit, I kept saying, gone off these motherfucking drugs. Off these drugs. What do you think about Horty and his drugs?
I feel like he's a coward because he should accept his fate. And I'm glad that his life got shortened.
Hell yeah. You seen how his fucking ass is all old and shit? The motherfucker was old and decrepit and shit at the end of that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Man.
And
that
he
shit,
was
there has to be a consequence.
He'll get out.
Yeah, they won't give a fuck if you get out, man. You gonna your old ass.
He's not even strong enough.
Right. Right. So that shit was crazy, man. I looked at that shit, I was like, man, that's some cheating shit, man. Like, nigga, like, that's why Luffy kept telling him, like, that's some fake power, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So, fucking Fisher Tiger, you know what I'm saying? We seen that Fisher Tiger fucking, he was like an adventurer and shit, but he got caught and he was a slave by the fucking Celestial and shit. He escaped, decided to go back and free the rest of the slaves and shit, but some of the slaves that he freed was bore Hancock in them and shit like that. So that's when these niggas made the whole Sun Pirate mark and all of that shit. And then he ended up getting killed after letting the little girl on his ship, remember, because she was a slave too. And they was going to bring her back to the place and shit. Then the humans fucking sold his ass out. But he told the Marines, like, man, fuck it, man. Y'all can murder me, but just leave her be. But even then, he still could have lived if he would have took the humans' fucking blood. But he was so despised with them and shit like that. Especially seeing what he seen other humans, the celestial dragons, doing to other humans, like slaves and shit like that. He said he just cannot forgive humans and shit like that. So what's y'all take on like Fisher Tiger and his whole ordeal and shit?
I don't think that, I think that that's justified, how he feels about humans. Not everybody's like that, but I get it. I get why he felt that way, and it's unfortunate that he couldn't even, he could have saved himself, but he feels the way he feels, but rightfully so, because he went through stuff, so.
Right. What did you think about that whole Fisher Tiger ordeal?
I thought it was nice of him to take care of her for a little while and bring her back. It was all happy, and then the Marines shot him, and it made me sad.
And y'all seen, she was like scared of them and shit at first because, she thought that if she cried, then they'd just like kill her or some shit like that. But she was always smiling and all of that shit. And, Fisher was like, hey man, it's okay. you could cry and shit like that, you know, like yeah, that shit was crazy. That was a touching moment.
But I didn't like it when he brought her home and everybody was scared of him.
Yeah, but that's just how, you know, like even real life shit, humans fear what you don't know and shit like that. So they don't really know how fishmen are, you know, but they see them and it's like, oh my God, it's a monster. So that's pretty much where that shit stems from.
But they don't know they could be cool.
Right. You know, that's humans for you.
Yeah. Exactly why you don't like them.
So we say Orihime and shit like that, and you know her peace and all of this shit, right? So, in her whole ordeal wanting peace, this shit came because you know the celestial dragon who came down there and shit was about to get his ass fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But then when he was about to, you know, like fuck over her mama and shit, her host was like, hold on, bitch, stop. And them Sea Kings popped out on his ass, and he was like, you know what, man? Like, I'm gonna rethink some shit about my life. You know, like. I ain't even here to fuck with y'all and shit like that. But yeah, I know he was there to reclaim his slaves that Fisher Tiger had let go and shit like that. But, you know, so that was a celestial dragon that pretty much sided with her and, you know, got the treaty and all of this shit. What did y'all think of that shit? Did y'all think a celestial dragon would do that?
No.
Because I remember we was talking, he was like, yeah, I wouldn't trust that shit.
It's kind of hard to trust somebody like that. Like, I would have had a bad gut feeling. Well, I did.
Yeah. You ain't fucking with that shit, huh? Right. Okay, so here's the shocker for y'all, right? So y'all already know and shit like that. We in zoo and shit right now, right? Mm-hmm. So the celestial dragon is along the lines of the Don Quixote family. Mm-hmm. Did y'all know that?
No.
Yeah. That was one of the Don Quixote celestial dragons.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he has a connection to Mingo and them.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, we gonna be getting to that shit in another video.
Boy. They're about to kill him, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, the Sea King was about to murk his ass and shit like that, but you know, all that shit was ceasing to dissect and shit like that. And fucking, you know, she got her treaty and shit. And, you know, fucking Horty ended up killing her on some shit. Blamed it on the human. The only thing the human did was set the fire. You know what I'm saying? And then Horty blamed it on the fucking human and all of this shit. And what did y'all think of that shit? Wait, my bad. I don't mean to cut you off. And she knew the whole time. Yeah. Fucking Princess knew the whole time.
That was him?
Yeah.
That's some crazy shit. I wasn't expecting that. I did not see that coming. Even when we did even see him.
Right.
Like they showed him, but they still didn't know that it was him.
Cause they made it seem like he caught the motherfucker who did the shooting and shit like that. But it's like, nah, nigga, you set this whole thing up.
Yeah.
It did have them motherfuckers stepping on her face and shit like that. You know? So how did you feel about all of that shit? Like, go on, express yourself.
Well, I know he was like kind of sad that Fish Tiger was dead because of humans, but he shouldn't have done that. It's not cool.
Right.
To kill like someone.
Especially when you fabricate this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And what she could have done would have been so great for Fishman Island and shit like that. The Fishman could have been like, you know, recognized as citizens and shit pretty much.
But I would tell on a Horty, but I feel like if she told everybody, maybe no one would believe her. Because that happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm. You're right. But remember, she just didn't want to, you know, create any more hate. Yeah. You know, and shit like that. So that's why she kept it to herself. So, fucking, when we seen Luffy versus Hawk, right? I mean, versus fucking, what's his nigga name? Horty, right? And he whipped out that motherfucking Red Hawk for the first time. And what were you thinking when he whipped out that Red Hawk?
He's probably been practicing really good and tough.
Were you expecting him to have a move based on fire?
No.
Yeah, boy. What do you think about that Red Hawk?
In honor of Ace.
Yeah, boy.
Hell yeah, man.
You like that motherfucker?
Yeah.
Yeah, he stung that bitch with that shit. So we find out, so Shirahishi, another ancient weapon.
Yeah.
So we already know about fucking Pluto being the fucking the ship and shit like that. Don't know what fucking Uranus is. But we find out Shirahishi is another fucking ancient weapon, you know, and shit like that. And she fucks with my boy Luffy, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, then they said, you know, the ancient weapon is gonna have somebody like guide it and shit like that. So y'all already see, I think that's gonna be my nigga Luffy and shit like that, right?
That's all I keep thinking
Yeah. So what do y'all think about like her being an ancient weapon and shit?
One, I did not see that coming. Two, that's dope as hell because she's a mermaid, right? And three, like I just kept thinking like, oh, he's just adding people to his list. Like he keeps adding people to his list. What's happening? I don't know what's gonna happen with all these people that he keeps meeting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So how do you feel about her being an ancient weapon?
It would be useful because if someone you like is in trouble, you can just start crying.
Yeah. And she's a powerful ancient weapon because them sea kings can apparently like fuck shit up.
Right.
But right. But the thing is though, I wouldn't want the government to know about that. You know what I'm saying? But and y'all seen when the sea kings were taking the ship and shit away after the fight with Horde and shit, they were saying, you know, only they can fix the ship and stuff like that. Like I said, at this point we still don't know who the fuck they is.
Yeah.
So I think that was like a little cool and shit like that, whatever fuck that. They're gonna take the ship to get repaired and shit. So that was dope. Like, you know, I just want to throw that shit out there. So after all of that shit, right, busting Hordy ass up and shit, Luffy get his candy and shit because these niggas got a feast and shit, right? They gave Luffy candy and shit. Turns out Big Mom people come out like, hey man, wild candy and shit. Niggas like, hey man, look, I ate that shit, you hear me? And this is my nigga, and my name is Luffy, I'm the king of the pirates. What's up, Big Mom, bitch? What you want? You hear me? So Big Mom like, hey man, who the fuck you think you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Bring your ass to the new world, you feel me? Bring your... And Luffy like, I bet that I be there, you know what I'm saying? How you feel about that shit? You feel like he should have been picking fights with emperors and shit already?
No, but that's just what he does. Picks fights.
I love that about Luffy. He shows true and natural leadership. I don't know, like he just is, I guess.
But he's lucky.
Amen.
Lucky and strong.
I see what he is, boy. So he asked Jinbei to join the crew. Jinbei said, nah, I ain't about to join. How do you feel about that?
I kind of feel like he's old. He's got his own like stuff going on. You know, like it's fine. Kind of expected that.
Right. How do you feel about that?
Surprised because I expected him to join the crew because he's been protecting Luffy and fought with him in the war.
True. I mean, he was going hard for my nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right. And we're gonna wrap this shit up with what's your favorite part of Fishman Island?
I think because I didn't see it coming, I think my favorite part was finding out that Shirahishi, right?
Yeah.
Was an ancient weapon because I was like, wow, like you don't expect her to have so much power.
And she's a crybaby too.
And she's and I'm a crybaby.
Right. What was your favorite part?
When Sanji arrived at the island, he was all over the women and he had fun with the mermaids.
Yeah.
But one of the mermaids liked him, the one with the black hair.
Yeah, so he got his. He got his, you know what I'm saying?
I know that he does have game, but I don't know.
Yeah. So my boys, the Strawhats and shit put on. You feel what I'm saying? My boys did their thing, you know. All of them, y'all seeing their power ups and shit like that. So I'm proud of my boys.
Yeah. I like Usopp's plants.
Yeah, he be going hard with them motherfucking plants and shit. I love, hey, Uzi had probably the best power up. You know what I'm saying? Because first he just, you know, with his like fucking shit, like oh boy, yeah, my boy Uzi got it, baby. Yeah. You feel me? So. That's it for this episode of Bunley's Jordan Straw Hat, baby. Fishman Island in this bitch. We about to move on and we about to be talking about Punk Hazard. So tune into that bitch, you hear me? We out.